Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Coach Raheem, and I'm going to share with you a message today about self mastery. Self mastery is a company that I created all because my intention is to help as many people as I possibly can. Uh, I want to help people realize their truth. And what's in it for me is when I help people realize their truth, it really invigorates me. It gives me a sense of satisfaction knowing that there are people out there who are living their life on their terms. It's so, it concerns me so much when there are so many people who are unhappy in the world, so many people who are uh, living lives that aren't consistent with who they are. And you can see it. There are studies out there that show that 74% of the people who work are unhappy with their jobs. And, I just think that that's the reason why we have so many issues in this world, because everybody is so focused on trying to be something that they're not. And in the process of trying to be something that they're not, they're trying to be someone else. And we're not really designed that way. Other people give us an idea about who we are and what we can do, but not to the point where we should be trying to be them or trying to put ourselves in their shoes. We're just not good at that. And what we're actually good at is being ourselves, but through social programming and culture, our families, our friends. Unfortunately, these people love us, but nobody can really do a good job at helping you to be yourself, except for the fact that they are constantly, continually reminding you to be yourself. And that's not easy to do, because we're all filters. We got to face it. It's an art and a science to helping other people that most people just aren't trained in or really think about, because we try to make people over in our own image. And you have to be cognizant of that. You have to practice the mind of completely selflessly helping someone in a way that serves their purpose in their own right. So let's start. How do you develop the ability to master yourself, to become or practice what I call self mastery? First, it starts with knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is so basic and so fundamental, but we move past that because it seems so easy. We take it for granted. Things that we receive easily, we kind of assume will always be there. It's like a relationship that you're in. And, when you first meet the person, you're very careful and cautious. If you're a guy, you don't want to upset her. If you're a girl, you don't want to push him away, so you're very considerate. But over time, you kind of assume that this person will always be there. And then here comes all of the stuff being the things that you begin to hold down. I can't tolerate this, so I won't go for that. And the next thing you know, the other person is thinking, well, I don't know if this is going to work for me. And actually, that's a good thing, because once again, we're not really designed to give ourselves away so much that we're not ourselves. So the first step in self-mastery is knowledge of self, knowing who you are, and then honoring and protecting yourself from all of the distractive forces in the environment. You got to get very clear about your truth. Getting clear about your truth means knowing who you are and having that picture, that image in your mind as often as you possibly can. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by images or by, smiling faces, people who you see who seem to be enjoying life. And you may look at them and go, oh, you know what? I think I want to do what they're doing. Or you're influenced by them because they seem to be enjoying life. Keep in mind, everybody has a mask on. We all do. Some people may not want to own that, but it's just the truth. And the person who says that they don't, you can make up your mind as to if you want to believe them or not. right? But self-mastery, true self-mastery, is freedom. Now, freedom in the sense of the truest sense. Freedom as in you master your abilities, the things that you are and the gifts that you have, to the point the way you can use them to serve yourself and others. So that's a critical realization in your life. If you own the fact that, you know what, there are certain things that I'm good at, and I'm going to get so good at it I'm going to learn how to use it to provide for myself, and I'm going to learn how to use it to provide for others. Now, the providing for yourself is important, is a critical point, because it allows you the connection that you need in order for someone else to believe that it works. Because if it works for you, then maybe it'll work for them. But if it doesn't work for you, then it may not work for anybody else. That thing being your talent. It maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a singer, maybe you're good with your hands, maybe you are a thinker. You know, you can figure things out. Maybe you're a natural leader. You have the gift of influence. You know, if you can lead yourself first and get results, then you can lead others. Another aspect of self-mastery is your ability to focus. Focus is so important to self-mastery, because in this world, there are so many distractions, and it's so easy to get away from what you're working on and then start working on somebody else. You know, I can tell you in my own development, you know, it is just so easy to look at someone else who is getting results and say, you know what, I think I want to try it that way, without fully exhausting doing it the way that we should do it best. Okay. Enough can't be said about focus. But what I want you to really lock in on with that word focus is, what are you focusing on? Your focus needs to be almost tunnel vision like on yourself. Okay. Yourself being not the self that you are right now, the real you, as in the present you, but the focus as in what you are trying to become. You want to have in your mind a clear idea of what your results are going to be, the goal that you are setting for yourself, which is beyond who you are right now. As you get a clear vision in your mind of who you want to be, naturally, your body, your mind, your actions, your behavior will gravitate towards that vision. But you have to check yourself. This is why I say it's so important to write things down. If you're an artist, or if you have the ability, or if your ability is limited, to draw out what you want, so that you can get a concrete idea of what it is that you're pursuing in life. And when it comes to distractions, you can more easily determine if this is something that belongs in your view. In other words, something that you should have an image of in your mind, or if it's something that you need to refocus away from. Okay. So you refocus on what you're trying to become. You don't want to fight against the thing that you don't want to become, because when we put work into fighting against the things that we don't want, we actually make it stronger. And you don't want to, resist something so much that it becomes strong. It becomes your vice. It's like, you can't think about anything else but that thing that you're trying not to be. That means that your focus is on the situation or the object that you're trying not to be. You want to instead just focus on what you're trying to be, and allow the things that you don't want to be just kind of fall to the sideway. Kind of like when you're driving on the road, and if you're focused in the direction that you want to go, the car will go in that direction. But the minute you focus too much on the cars that are on the side of you, you lose focus of what's in front of you. Okay, so make sure that your focus is on your results, the goal that you have set. Okay, how can you use your abilities to serve yourself and others? You can use your ability to serve yourself and others by continuing continuing to develop your abilities. So as you develop your abilities and as you grow and become a master of self, you get to this level where the things that you can produce, the products or the services that you'll produce, actually become valuable to you. Like you can see the psychological value in it in yourself because it brings you peace of mind. You're doing something that is satisfying and satisfying to yourself, and other people see the value in it also. They find value in, if you're a leader, someone that they can trust. And when you say, I think we should consider going this direction, everybody goes, oh, you know what? I think we should follow what he's doing or she's doing because they seem to be getting good results with their ability to lead. Or if it's a product that you're producing, or let's say, you make cars and you have a good mind for how cars should work and you're a visionary. You can see into the future how cars are going to be, and you're producing those things now. You want to constantly be mindful as you're going through that process of learning how to serve yourself and others of your limiting beliefs. That's a critical component of self-mastery because we all have limiting thoughts. We all have a result in our mind. Now, the result is good, but the result should always be kept in its place. I understand and I appreciate the value of understanding and knowing what your results are, but you also want to give yourself the ability to surpass your results. Okay? Now, surpassing your results is acknowledging that you don't have a limiting belief, that you know that there's always a better way of doing things. This is why I'm very cautious about people who speak in terms of perfection. It has to be perfect. When you say perfect, what do you mean? Nothing is ever perfect because things are always changing. There's always a better way of doing things. So, if you're in continuous improvement and continuous progress, you'll meet your results because your results is on the line, along the line of your journey, is on the path of your journey. And once you reach those results, don't be afraid to surpass it. Don't be afraid to move beyond your results. Every now and then, someone will make a tremendous discovery of something that is principle based, something that stands the test of time. But those things are rare. So be cautious, once again, about limiting beliefs that, this is the only way to do something, because there's always a better way to do it. You must learn, or we must learn to channel all of our abilities and don't allow your focus to be all over the place. I'm repeating this because it's just so easy to do. So many distractions, even in our own house. And that's why I recommend when I'm working with my clients to begin the pruning process in your own house. Think about the things that you have in your environment at home that are no longer serving you. Why is it there? Sometimes we'll have this thought in our mind and we think that one day we're going to use this thing to do something else, right? But that day never comes. So it's just sitting there. And as it's sitting there, it's holding us. It's taking away our attention from being able to be clear about what we want out of life and what we should be doing. The way that you can be sure that you are channeling your abilities is to ask yourselves questions. Ask yourself a question. What do I want? Am I doing the things that are going to bring me my goal, that are going to move me to my goal? Am I seeking my truth? And, enough can't be said about seeking truth. Truth is directly aligned to self-mastery. And I will tell you that self-mastery, when you really get into the depths of self-mastery is freedom. Freedom, it can be defined as your ability to live life on your terms. And in order to live life on your terms, it's something that you should be doing at a high level. If you're living life on your terms and it's at a low level, trust me, you won't be happy. You'll be dissatisfied, especially because we're on this earth with so many other people. You'll run into someone else who is blowing it out the water. It's always amazing when you look at yourself, if you're honest, and you see the progress that you're making and you get comfortable, and then here comes someone else who is doing something similar to you, and they're doing it so much, they're playing the game at such a higher level than you, where you don't really you begin to realize, like, man, I need to kick it up, turn it up. This is why I just do not believe in perfection, because life is always changing. There's always something more that you can be doing, and the idea is to question yourself, to ask yourself, what else can I be doing? What else? Is there something more that I could be doing to master my abilities even further? Have I served as many people as I possibly can, and have I served as diverse people as I possibly can serve? The reason why you want to serve a diverse people is because those different people are going to challenge your abilities in ways that people who are just like you just can't, because their perspective is too close to yours. Like, they're asking you to do things that are easy. And when it's easy to get boring. So you want to, as much as you can, try to stretch yourself, not too far, but stretch yourself in such a way where you ask yourself, am I maximizing? Am I getting my abilities or giving my abilities a chance to really stretch and grow, to see how far my natural abilities can go? Be absolutely clear about who you are and what you can do. Be very clear about that. Clear in the sense of, in your mind, you have an image of what you are going to do, an image of who you are. You are focused on what you want. Thoughts have gravity. So the image that you place in your mind, the colors, the textures, the sounds, the smells that you associate with becoming a self-master, with knowledge of self, is going to help you move in your purpose. It's going to help you stay focused on your path. You want your thoughts to move you in that direction. You don't want to be in a situation where your thoughts are not serving you. It's so much to be said about that. I can't really go into the depths of it in this video because I'd be doing this for hours. Your thoughts, such slippery things. They're like trying to hold on to a fish, that you just pulled out of the water with your bare hand, just so slippery. It's why it's so important to write things down. When you write things down, you take what's in your mind and you bring it into the physical form. You bring it into reality in the material world. So now you can touch it. You can look at it and say, this is who I am. And you can compare it and measure it. Be very honest with yourself. Be very clear about who you are. Allow yourself to be a master of your abilities. When I say allow yourself, I'm saying that knowing that most of us, if we're honest, we won't allow ourselves to be a master. By that, I mean that we spend so much time fighting against our own abilities because nobody else is doing what we were born to do. But that's natural. That's the nature of who we are. We're unique beings. We're not common. We're not the same as everybody else. So if you're looking for someone else to come along and say, hey, you're doing it just right, it's never going to happen. Not really. Somebody may say you're doing it right, but if they stick around long enough, they're going to eventually tell you that you're doing it wrong. Why? Because they don't have your story. Your story comes from inside of you and it's very personal, just like their story comes from inside of them. So you have to be very careful about how much energy, how much power, how much influence you allow someone else to have over you, because their influence is not going to be your truth. It's going to be a perspective that they have about your truth. You have to measure and determine what's right for you. And if you're going down the path that you should be going, allow yourself to be a master of yourself. Don't fight yourself. Be reasonable, but don't fight against yourself. Know your truth. Seek your truth. I'm Coach Raheem. If you need a coach, a life coach, I don't really call myself a life coach. I'm really a self-mastery coach, but I use the term life coach because I know that people can relate to it. It's a popular term. But if you need a coach, you can reach me at coachraheem.com, at CoachRahein.com, and leave me you can shoot me a text. My contact information is there. You want to have a coach in your life, a good coach, somebody that knows what they're doing, because there are good life coaches and coaches that are not so good. But you want to have a coach in your life, somebody who is on your team that is rooting for you, that's going to help you stay focused. The mind can hold a thought, but for so long. And we are designed for interconnectivity, which means, it helps us to have someone else who is pushing you to be your best. It helps. Okay. Please subscribe to my channel. Like, share this message with others. You never know who is in a situation where they just need some help. My goal is to help 1 million people. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would take time out to just share this information with someone. I really enjoy helping people, and I hope you do too. Until next time, this is Coach Raheem. Self-mastery. Seek your truth.